Hey folks, Steve here. How you doing? Exciting day here today. I am, with my checklist, getting ready to load my tool trailer, and I am headed out Monday morning, a couple days from now. Monday morning, I am headed out on a several-day drive to get out to Arizona for the second annual Bulletproof Handyman Camping Convention, if I got that right. Got a list of things that I want to do. It's camping, so I've got some camping gear on here. Relatively informal. However, I believe that there could be some tax implications if your accountant is able to approve it, I guess, as a business expense by making it a business expense. And so we're going to be out there teaching classes. I have kind of a list of ideas down here as to what I want to do. But I believe my tool trailer will be involved in at least one thing that I'm able to present. And so I'm going to take that with me. That's what I'm doing, and I'm going to just start loading the trailer. I'll show you the before and I'll show you the after, and maybe some of the during if I just set this up and speed it up. I've said it in 100 videos, and I'll say it in 100 more videos. Opening up that ramp door, letting it drop, and just looking inside never, ever, ever gets old. Honestly, I think that's it. I'll check the clipboard, but I think this is all I need to pack in here. So yeah, according to my clipboard, the only thing I need to do is, number one, I need to put the registration sticker on my license plate. It's in my truck, so I'll have to go get that. It's been sitting in my truck for almost a half a year now. So I hadn't been pulled over yet, but why risk it at this point? And I need to go get I have an Army sleeping bag. I'm going to be sleeping in the desert. I think it's just for something to lay on. I don't think I'm going to be nestled inside of this thing, which is rated for, I believe it's rated for sub-zero. That's pretty much it. Everything else will go in the truck, including the spare tire. I have a spare tire for this. All right, there we go. Good morning, everybody. Still in my backyard. It's 7:30 in the morning, getting ready to go. Everything's packed up here. I had to just throw my sleeping bag, and I went ahead and threw a cooler in there. I won't bother to ice it down until I'm getting really close to the hot stuff. I think I'm all ready to go here, so this is how it's going to look, and I will show everybody when I open the door what it looks like. I don't know, 2,400 miles later. It'll be interesting. It will be interesting. I expect it to travel just fine. All right, well, there we go. I'm going to close this thing up, lock it up, get ready to go. I have just one more thing to load in the truck, and then I'm going to shower and hit the road. Yay. Talk to you later, folks. Bye. Okay, I think I'm all set. One thing though, of course, I want to double check, make sure that I've hooked everything up correctly. So I've got my lights, I have my chains, my tongue lock pin, my jack stand is up, turn the lights on, and the lights for the trailer are indeed functioning. So I am good to go. And since I don't need to be in this thing for a while, I'm completely locked up. Well, I'm set and ready to go, and I do have my trailer spare tire. Truck, I have a spare tire underneath there, although I did not check the air pressure, but I have an air compressor. If I could pay for the license, I would cue Holiday Road by Lindsey Buckingham from Vacation. I can't, so I'm just going to say, let's get on the way.
cheapest house in the most expensive street. I always run from that advice, because if you're the...
Hey folks, Steve here, how you doing? Well, I am in Arizona. I'm about 15 miles away from Tucson in that direction, I think. The campsite is in that direction, about 12 or 15 miles or something like that. So I'm here, and everything starts tomorrow morning. I've been in touch with Ray Duke, and tomorrow morning. So with that, I will wait and go out tomorrow morning, set up. There's no hurry. What I didn't realize before I agreed to come down this way and do this Bulletproof Handyman convention thing is how close to the equator Arizona actually is. I mean, it's got to be like, it's equator hot here. It's like 105. I have been in much hotter, but that was 20 years ago, and I was 20 years younger, and I had acclimated to it. I am not acclimated to this. How do people live here? Now, what I have to do is this. I'm going to unlock this trailer. I haven't seen it for 4 days. I'm going to unlock this thing, pop it down, see what is shifted, and see what I need to kind of put back to get ready for tomorrow. So when I pull in tomorrow, it's not really a cluster that I can just, reach and grab and go and do, and I'm not trying to do this rearrangement tomorrow morning. Word of the wise, I-70 Indiana. Once it gets from Ohio to Indiana, when you cross the border, bam, roads absolutely for hundreds of miles it seemed were horrible. Horrible. So, given the hundreds of miles of Indiana roads that were just absolutely terrible, I-70, avoid it if you can. Now, after at some point, they got better. But it was, hundreds of miles. I got to say, it was hundreds of miles. That it was just really, really bad roads, no matter which lane you were in. And yesterday, I pulled into a gas station a little bit tight, or it was a little bit tight in the gas station area, and of course, you're a little bit longer with a trailer, and so I had to cut it kind of sharp to get around something. I drove over a curb, and the trailer drove over a curb. Well, they had this little peninsula with a curb, and I just never saw it, and I had to cut it so tight anyway. So, one curb and Indiana roads, and a couple of really big potholes. So with that, I'm just going to pop this thing open and see what I have to kind of shift back around, so tomorrow morning, much easier. It looks worse than it is, actually. No surprise, hearing protection, they were just on a hook. Hats, just on a hook. A few tools that have kind of tipped out, that's not a surprise. This stuff here was actually on the ground. Yeah, actually not too bad. Very, very surprised that it rode as well as it did. Everything that is shifted around, I am not surprised that it shifted around given how bad those, I would not over-exaggerate. Those Indiana roads were terrible. And also the curb, no surprise there. That really, I was up, I was over, and I knew that I came down hard. Well done. Well done, Ron Paulk. Well done, passive restraint. Well done, packing so tight that a lot of things didn't have a chance to move around a lot. All right, well, I'm going to pause you. I'm going to start pulling a few things out just so I can get it kind of put back a little bit and rearranged. All right, that took all of 5 minutes, and I offloaded like the tent and the camping stuff, which would obviously not be in here. And then I just picked up 3 tools off the ground, a drill and 2 drivers, and I'm not surprised that they fell, given the fact that they, on very rough roads around where I am, they will tip, because I am double deep. I am double stacked with all of my tools, given the fact that I'm maxed out with tools in here. So I have to put 2 tools per cubby, and that then restricts exactly what they can do inside the cubby, so the first one may tip out. That being said, over 4 days in the rough roads, thank you Indiana again, that I'll own the curb. Indiana has to own hundreds of miles of really crappy interstate roads, I-70, bad. And given all of that 4 days, I'm not surprised that they could eventually kind of bounce out and fall. The system that Ron has for passive restraint works and works very well. However, I can defeat it. Indiana can defeat it. Bad enough roads, bad enough driving, you can overcome pretty much any system. All right, well, put everything back together. Had a couple of things of my, or a couple of belts from my belt sandpaper had to put back up. The 3 tools, hearing protection, my hats. I think that was it. It was literally just that. Put the camping stuff back together, and I'm done. 5 minutes. I'm going to say that this trip so far has been an absolute success with how this trailer rides, even with that severe of a situation. It rode incredibly well, not only driving and pulling and towing, but inside with the tools and everything else. I'm impressed, not surprised. I'm simply impressed. Well, I'm going to lock this thing up, go inside, enjoy what I have left of my probably 12 hours of AC, and then I'm going to go camping at the equator. and I'm just anxious and looking forward to it. Networking at the equator with guys 27 states away from me. It's going to be a cool time. It's going to be absolutely, I'm just having fun. It's going to be a great time. I am so looking forward to this. I wouldn't have driven 2,300 miles towing a 4,000-pound trailer if I wasn't excited to do this and to share this trailer, this design, and kind of like the Paulk system of a kind of a job site. So I'm very excited for that. And literally, that's all I hauled this thing for. I'm not doing any work down here. I thought of maybe volunteering my services with Ray Duke for a day if he'd have me. Hey, I'll show up on a job site free of charge and just help you. However, my daughter actually is going to come back with me, so she's going to drive all the way back to New York State. So with that, I'm not going to have time to actually just pause for half a day and work somewhere as much as I really would want to, even if Ray would be okay with that. Good morning, folks. How you doing? Steve here. Well, just hung out at a Hampton Inn just outside of Tucson, Arizona on I-10 to the south. And it was the closest hotel in kind of Tucson proper, in proximity to the campground. So with that being said, I had a lovely night of air conditioning. I am on my way to Dutch Brothers because I'm out west and I'm going to get a cup of coffee from Dutch Brothers. I am also going to hit the Walmart. I made a short shopping list of things that I just might want to have around, hanging out in the desert for a little bit. And then after that, I will be then heading to the campground. I have been in contact with Ray yesterday. I thought it started yesterday and that I was kind of cheating, staying in a hotel for a night, but apparently it actually starts today. And had I looked at the dates, I would have known that. All things being considered, here I am, and I'm on my way. I've been in touch with Ron Paulk about the trailer, as far as he posted a video today about just some organization in his trailer, and I reinforced the idea that after 2,300 miles, that trailer traveled incredibly well, especially given Indiana. Oh man, Indiana. All right, well, on to Dutch Brothers, and then I am to Walmart, and then I am to Gardner Canyon Disbursement Campsite. All right. See you there. Okay, so here I am on day one of the camping trip. Just pulled into the campsite, met Ray, met his friend. I think I was the fourth guy there, actually. Someone was already out, had already been there and was out. So I'm just unloading the trailer and kind of getting my own little campsite set up. I did not do anything that first day as far as filming anything, just met everybody, hung out. It was a really good day. So here is me waking up very early on the second day. I think I was the first one up. I don't believe anybody else was. And I'm just kind of walking around very quietly through the campsite, just kind of checking everything out. As I swing around, here's my trailer all parked and ready to go. It'll stay there for the entire camping trip. And then we get to the Spencer compound. I really had a good time setting this up. I've got my pop-up for shade so everything stays as cool as it possibly can. I've got my little pop-up tent to sleep in. It's a 5x7. You can see that I've got my smart bench out for a flat surface with all my supplies on there. There's where I'm sleeping. Got my army sleeping bag in there and a couple of pillows. Life is good. God bless America. Check out the firewood. I brought some of that myself all the way from New York. And look at all the supplies that Ray Duke brought in. This guy is amazing. He's just an absolute one-stop shop for a great experience. And he did all the cooking. He laid in all the supplies on his own. I have no idea how many times or how many trips it took him to get all that stuff there, but absolutely amazing. And besides that, the guy is an experienced caver, and he was able to, on day 2 or something like that, he took us caving. And so I went caving, and hey, you know what? I'm not claustrophobic. That's a good thing to know. All right, back to the show.
This goes.
Good morning, everybody. Steve here. How you doing? Reporting from, I guess, day 3 of Command Central here at the Handyman campout. Trailer is right around the corner because I'm not quite sure what other videos I've shot at this point. And it's about 7 in the morning. I've gotten up, brushed my teeth, things like that. Kind of gotten ready for the day, sponged off. And I'm about ready to head into town for coffee because I can do that. And it's a very early morning here, so there's nothing happening. But life is good. This is I've enjoyed this immensely so far. I'm going to be heading out today. It's going to go on for another day or two. but it is just, it's been a spectacular time. The camaraderie and sharing of the stories and the failures, the successes, the different business models from just the small group that we have here of 10 or 11 people. It's amazing. The diversity and the similarities. It is actually impressive. So it's working out pretty well here.
So just, really quickly, when Ray was throwing it out as far as having this convention and the ability to teach a class and hopefully have some tax implications, because it really is a business venture here that we've got going on, that I thought, what can I contribute? I'm not really a handyman, as we've all talked over the past 3 days, so you kind of know what I'm doing. But I do have my foot in the handyman world as well as the construction world, and then I do something else entirely for income. So I really appreciate the diversity of what I'm able to do. So when I thought about just strictly handyman things, I was kind of hard pressed to come up with one thing that I would be able to contribute that I feel that you guys wouldn't have heard of before, that you're going to be well versed in there. So I'm just going to share what I got, all right? And what I have really for you is just a series of little small informal things. So the first thing that I have is simply like the fact that I'm allowed to do my own electrical. And it's really weird in New York State. They're pretty prohibitive on a lot of things that you can do driven mainly because of New York City. It's just a different environment there with a large city. And so it tends to get restrictive in the rest of the state where you don't need restrictions. And amazingly, in our town, in our area, they're not as restrictive. So I can do my own plumbing. I don't have to have a license. I can do my own electrical residential without a license. All of that is inspected. So, I really can be a one-stop shop and really kind of do it all from the ground up. And I appreciate that. So with that, I wanted to just say, hey, with electrical, because I can do my own electrical, I have had a lot of contact with clients who are interested in wanting to be able to swap out their own outlets. So you had a little teaching moment, right? And in the end...
Hey folks, Steve here. How you doing? Hey, I'm here at the Bulletproof Handyman Convention, the second annual. I just got done with my classes. I talked about the workbench. I talked about the trailer. I talked about the Parf Guide Mark II system a little bit. It wasn't that kind of a class, but just on how I did all the dog holes here. Just check it out. You're right on the bench. So I talked about the versatility of these MFT table benches, the Paulk smart benches, and just how versatile they actually are. I talked about like plumbing, talked about electrical, which I do, kind of in and around handyman stuff. I talked about the handyman stuff that I do, talked about the other construction stuff, showed an example of my contract, and just really had a good time with it, and just a wonderful group of guys. So it's been very, very valuable. I'm very happy that I came all the way out here for this, even though it's at the equator and it's over 100 degrees and all. It's still a fantastic time, and I guess you do somewhat get used to the heat, and it is a dry heat. I had to sweat the whole time, so I perspired for those of you out there, but it's been a fantastic time. So I would do this again. It's that cool. Now, I don't know if I'd bring the tool trailer out again. That was really great for show and tell, and I probably spent, I would say, 2 or 3 hours cumulatively talking with people about that trailer. They would go in and, oh man, they'd have, some of them, if they hadn't seen me open the door yet, they'd have that surprise, and then they would, hey, can I walk in? And they'd go in, and all those stories, they actually are coming true again, multiple times. And then I'd be able to talk about the efficiency of the trailer, and they would talk, hey, do you have this kind of a tool? I've got this kind, do you have that? And we kind of swap stories that way, and kind of a challenge. Do I have this tool? Well, I think I do. Let me check this drawer. Well, is this what you're talking about? Yeah, I got the tool then. Hadn't used it in 3 years, but I've got it. So it's been a really cool time, almost like a pop quiz, like a running pop quiz on the trailer. But it was absolutely fantastic. Glad I came. Ray Duke is everything that you see on his channel. He's just a solid guy. Can't say enough about him, and can't say enough about the experience that he created here. It's that cool. It is just really, really that memorable. It's an experience. Life is about experiences, and without sacrificing that big, beautiful tomorrow for, the today with the YOLO movement, you only live once. This is the experience. This is how I'm decorating my normal life with a little bit extra, and this has been a hell of a lot of extra. This has been cool. Very awesome. So happy. It was Jobber sponsored, so thank you very much, Jobber. Even though I'm not sponsored by Jobber, I'm not anywhere close to, and I don't use Jobber because of the nature of my business is not such that I could support a customer resource tool like Jobber is. I've looked into it.
But thank you very much to Jobber for actually sponsoring this event, because it really made a lot of this magic happen. We had an enormous amount of, we had a lot of people here. I was surprised. I figured it might be, it might be me and Ray hanging out. But we had a very eclectic group of people coming in from North Carolina, New Jersey, Austin, Texas. I think just literally right over those hills over there in Green Valley, we had one come out there. And a few more people beside. We had one transient guy that kind of goes all over, kind of like those traveling nurses where, they're not in any one place for a long time. This guy's kind of like a traveling handyman / every other guy too. His name's Ed. It's a riot, man. And he was here, so it's really, really cool stuff. Anyway, thank you very much for sticking with me, folks. It's just been it has been one fantastic time here in Gardner. So get this right, Gardner Canyon Dispersed Camping. That's dispersed campsites. And it's been the second annual Bulletproof Handyman Convention. And phenomenal time. If I haven't said it 25 times already, there's one more time. So I'm coming at you from there. I'm on my way loading up, getting ready to break down this workbench that I'm at. Get that loaded, get my somewhat camping supplies loaded up, and then I will be ready to have another bottle of water, hang with the fellas for a minute, and then hook up, shuffle up, and head on out. Drop my trailer locally in Tucson for a little while, go visit my children in LA, and then come back through, pick up the trailer, and head 2,300 miles in that direction, right there. And then get home and jump on the work that I have lined up for the summer. All good stuff. All right, y'all take care. Have a good one, because you deserve it. And I hope you see me on the next video. Ring that bell, like, subscribe. Easy way, free way to say thanks. And I really appreciate what you're doing for the channel. Y'all take care. Bye. Hey folks, Steve here. How you doing? Good morning, everybody. Hey, it is interesting around here. Huh? Look at this. Cacti. There's 2 of them. 3 of them, 4 of them, plural, cacti, right? For all my Harvard listeners out there, rather than cactuses. Man, this is, we're on our way to 108 today here in Tucson, Arizona, I think, and I'm not going to be here. For me, the Handyman Convention sadly is over. They have one more day, or one more day night, and then they break down camp tomorrow. I don't know who all is staying. A couple of us left yesterday. Best of luck for the rest of the day. It's just awesome, the experience. Like I might have said many times before in videos, but just really cool stuff. I don't get to see this kind of thing every day. So for me, this is fascinating. I know for everyone around here, it's like, oh, yeah, it's just what you see every day. However, I'm on my way to LA, and I will spend some time with the family before getting back and starting all those projects that I have for the summer. So really exciting times, really exciting times. In and of itself, it's absolutely beautiful, and I really am enjoying the experience. I have spent time in deserts before, but it's nice to return, and it's nice to just kind of check things out and see different things than I'm normally used to. And with all of this around handyman and building and everything else, and surprisingly, I was able to contribute. I was frankly worried about that, because I wanted to contribute meaningfully to this convention. I didn't want to just show up and kind of use up the resources. And thank you very much, Jobber, for sponsoring it, and Ray for doing all of the work. I mean, holy mother of pearl. That guy, man, he's a ball of energy. Anyway, so thank you, Ray Duke, for all of the effort to make all of this happen, and then Jobber simply to finance it and write the check, I guess. But I will say that it was just fantastic, and I was very happy to actually meaningfully contribute. All right, well, more later. Ring that bell, like and subscribe. Take care. Hey folks, Steve here. How you doing? Hanging out with a Joshua tree. This one should be quite old, because what I learned is you take the height in inches and you divide it by 1.5, which is about the approximate growth per year, and then you'll get the age of this wonderful, wonderful Joshua tree beast. This one is quite large. I stand corrected. It was not the overlook. We're going to the overlook. That was just a lookout. I don't know this stuff. Yeah.
Hey folks, Steve here. How you doing? Well, Saguaro National Park. Trailer. Daughter. And Saguaro. Check, check, check. On our way home. Hey folks, Steve here. How you doing? Reporting from the Saguaro National Park. You can see the saguaro cacti all behind me. Very, very cool. So we're on our way home. I'm going to set the GPS to home and upstate New York. Here we come. However, because I had a moment, because I just picked up my trailer from Tucson, that I have it all packed up, ready to go, and I just want to give a quick look in, and then when I get home, I'll drop the ramp door, see how it did. We'll take a quick look, and then we'll take a quick look in 4 days. Gifts from Disneyland. Just a couple of towels. Everything else is all packed in there. You see the tools. There's the 10 by 15 pop-up tent. More gifts. And I think we're set. All right. So let's lock this up and 4 days later. Hey, good morning everybody. Steve here. How you doing, huh? Day like 172 of this travel log. Feels like it's been a very long trip. Loved it. But man, you know those trips when they're just like 2 days too long, 3 days too long. Today I am in my daughter's traveling with me home. No, we are in Richmond, Indiana. Here's the beast. Lovely traveling companions. Everything has just worked out so well. If I had wood to knock on, I would certainly knock on it. But today is the last day as far as I get to set the GPS for home, and our destination tonight will be home. So tonight I should be able to sleep in my own bed. So looking forward to that. And I will still say that Indiana roads, and to that point, Illinois roads on I-70 suck. They are horrible. And that's both ways, because I traveled west and then I traveled east on the other side. Horrible in both directions. Just lousy. So it'll be interesting to open up that trailer as I did when I got to Tucson and see what shifted, because there's no way with everything that we were doing. I mean, it was, it's kind of like a Star Trek thing. Whoa, they shake the camera as if the whole ship is shaking. This whole ship was shaking. The Enterprise was hit multiple times by phaser fire. Rocked the whole thing. So anyhow, it'll be interesting to see what did shift in there and to what extent. It wasn't actually all that bad in Tucson when I opened it up. It took less than 4 minutes to actually put everything back, and it was small things. So we'll see. All right, well, it will be interesting, and I will not tonight open that thing up. I don't even know if I'll park it tonight. But tomorrow morning, I certainly will open that up. I'll give you all a show on what happened. And then I have to unload it because it's just chock full of stuff that doesn't need to be in the trailer permanently. And then I have a job starting almost as soon as I get home. A couple of days I've got for my own projects and kind of trip recovery. Then I'm on to a project to finish a kitchen install and then do some other things. All right, well, hey, you take care because you deserve it. And if you would, like and subscribe. It's a great way to say thank you, and it's free to you. And I hope you see me on the next video. Ring that bell if you want to get notified. Bye. Hey, folks, Steve here. How you doing? Well, it is now Monday. I got in town Saturday night around 5:30 in the afternoon, and yesterday, because I needed my truck, I simply just backed it up, dropped it with enough room so I could offload, because it's normally back here a little bit. So I was able to drop the trailer, and then I could use my truck yesterday, and all fine and dandy. Now it is the afternoon on Monday, so 2 days back-ish. I have not opened this up yet, so I have no idea what to expect. I will say again that Indiana and Illinois, they are really rough roads. I know I've said it 100 times, I'll say it 100 again. They're just lousy. So therefore, with that and some really bad potholes, just unexpected. It wasn't because I was carelessly driving, it was just unexpected. But 2,600 miles too, so I don't really know what to expect. Things were packed in tightly, so I think the ability for things to move around with that severe of a road condition is limited, but not absolutely contained. So
I don't know what to expect. I will say none of what you're going to see has anything to do with Ron Paulk as far as the disturbances. That has to do with the bad roads and 2,600 miles of it. I have only undone the locks prior to setting the camera up. I have not bothered to lower the ramp. So I don't know what's there. I think I know what to expect, but I just don't know what is there. So you'll see with me. And again, Ron Paulk's systems work. 2,300 miles of bad roads can test any system. I don't care what the system is. All right, it looks like a mess. It's not so much a mess, but let me show you what I've got. Not unexpectedly, that small trash can has fallen off of the shelf. No surprise there. I am surprised that that drawer actually has opened up. I have never seen that drawer opened up before. I have, however, seen the levels extended a bit. This is new. I have never seen this before, where my miter saw has actually been displaced and is actually hanging over the edge. It couldn't fall, thankfully, because of everything else there, but without checking over 2,600 miles of road, this is what we have. Now, I will say that under normal circumstances with those kinds of roads, I would have checked, maybe not every stop like for gas, but I would have stopped every night I would have stopped, checked the trailer, and check the trailer, hit the reset button, things like that. This time I committed myself to not checking until I got home. I wanted to have 2,300 interrupted miles of not me kind of playing around in here, hitting the reset button continuously on big things, small things, whatever. I wanted you to see before, after, and this is what you're getting. So the miter saw surprises me. Not worried about it because it was so locked in with everything else in the nose here, or I mean at the end of the trailer, that it couldn't have fallen off if it tried. However, being so displaced, I am surprised, and that would tell me that on future trips, if we have those bad roads again, I would want to check at a gas stop, is what I would want to check, not even at the end of the evening. All right, well, let's see what else we've got here. Let me go ahead and take my pop-up 10x15 tent out, and we'll check further on in. All right, let's see what else got disturbed. All right, I do not have lights in here yet because I need to plug into shore power, but what can I see? Well, I see some tools disturbed. I see a driver, I see a drill, I see the linesman's, I see some of the sandpaper for my belt sander. That's not a surprise. I do see a router that actually fell. All right. On the countertop here, that just slid down the countertop. That typically just rests on my space here, normally held in by that little magnet there. In the back, I had some sacrificial strips I had just simply set up on the counter. I am not surprised that they fell. What you see tipped over there is a plank. It's like one of those 5-foot aluminum planks, and that is not a surprise. All right, well, yes, I did lose a couple of tools. I have a couple of tools tipped. All in all, about what I expected, with the exception of the miter saw, because I have never seen that jump the way it did. Not surprised, though, with these roads. So my expert opinion on this trailer, now that I've had it 5 years and I've had it over several different types of roads and jobs, this was a success. I am not surprised with what I have seen. Could have been way worse. I'm not sure how it could have been better given what I know I drove, given the fact that I did not check every night and set everything back. And one thing that I have been reluctant to do, but I can do, which would eliminate 50% of what you're seeing. Now, the miter saw, I got to think about that one as far as what can I do to keep it from doing what it did again. There are ways to figure that out, but the other thing I've thought is this. Along those lower cubbies, for long trips where this could be the potential danger. Now, I do not anticipate taking my trailer 2,300 miles, 4,600 miles. I do not anticipate ever doing that again. However, for any long duration trip, which for me is probably around 3 or 4 hours at this point, is the farthest I would ever go for work, and that would most likely be for family or friends or something like that, that I could actually put a retention bar that just slides over or screws in at 2 points, just something minimal that would retain those tools. So why did I have this problem? It has nothing to do with Ron Paulk's passive restraint system. That system works extremely well because I have used it for years and years and very rarely have, well, I've never had anything like this. Here's the difficulty that I run into that can defeat Ron Paulk's passive restraint system. Here's how I can defeat it. I have a small trailer. I am maxed out with tools. Because I am maxed out with cordless tools, I have to double tool almost every one of those cubbies down there unless the tool is so big that I can't. So because of that, my tools are very close to the edge. That's how I am defeating his system, in that I just have so many tools that they're able to actually then tip out under really severe road conditions, or if I drive over curbs or something like that, you know, because I have been known to miss something and drive over a curb and then bam, 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 there you go. So that's the problem. It's the trailer itself works fine, the system works fine, none of the drawers have come out. Absolutely none of them. This whole side could come out, except that passive restraint system works for the drawers especially. And the fact is that 85% of all of my tools are undisturbed. There's proof positive that this system is actually functioning as intended and as designed. Thank you very much, Ron Paulk. Great system. But I can challenge anything, but you have a great system that is hard for me to challenge. I have to go across, like, I don't know, 9 states and 2,300 miles and very bad roads in order to overwhelm your system. So thank you very much. All right, well, hey, for me, it is now time to actually start offloading all of the extra stuff and then getting this tool trailer kind of reset. I have a job that I need to attend to later this week, and I want to be right ready to go for it. So awesome. I will see you on the backside. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Great way to say thanks. Ring the bell if you want to get notified when I drop new videos. And I hope you see me on that next video. Otherwise, please have a great day because you deserve it. Take care. Bye.